Welcome back to the 311 Griffin YouTube channel. I have another Forza 7 livery, but this one is different. It is fictitious, and it's just for me. I don't know. I might put it out on there if people want it, I guess. But this is the Aston Martin DB11, and I don't know that this is the final livery of it, but as you can see, it is a Strongbow livery. I thought that would be cool to get a British car and slap a really good British apple cider as the sponsor. And you'll also notice that I've got a DCS logo on there that I made and an Eagle Dynamics logo that I'm actually fairly proud of on there. And I did a little bit of a critical video of Eagle Dynamics here recently, but I wanted to show them a little bit of love as well because I do like what they do. So anyway, I thought it'd be cool to slap that on there as well. Now, one thing you'll notice, you can probably see whenever you can see the top parts of the doors, it gets really pixelated up there, and I've tried a lot of different things to remove that pixelation, and I can't quite figure it out. So if anybody out there has any ideas about how to do that, I would greatly appreciate it. For this particular car, it's a little bit difficult to skin because it's not really a complete car. I mean, it looks great, but they did not set the coordinates up correctly for the textures. As you, if you're working along the top, you can't mirror something to the other side and go to the same coordinates. Normally, I would go to, like, you've got your XY coordinate on one side, and then I would just drag one of them stays the same, and I would mirror it and then drag to the negative coordinate on the other side, or the opposite signed coordinate on the other side. Well, that doesn't work here because it's not centered. Also, from the left and the right side, if you mirror something to the other side and then go look at it, it's in a slightly different place. So it makes it really difficult to get things lined up correctly. And then, for whatever reason, on that particular seam at the top of the door, or not really the seam, but just that area, it's like things get stretched or something as they go through that area. And they get stretched in a really weird way that makes it hard to skin. So anyway, that makes it really difficult to paint this car. And that's the main spot that I don't like. This is my second version of this livery, and I'm working on a third right now, but I kind of quit because I was still having issues with that door. I thought I'd had an idea for, a way to just kind of go around it, but it didn't work. The Strongbow emblem was kind of interesting to do because it is actually the shapes around the emblem. I painted this car gold, and I wanted that to show through, and so I just made the shapes around the Strongbow emblem so that I could mask off that area and then do a little bit of transparency work. The transparency work in Forza is a little bit weird for some reason, so I wound up adjusting it a little bit. It's not quite what I wanted, but it looks pretty good. So, and there, as it passed right there, you could kind of see the door area that I'm talking about. That's a little bit of a struggle. The other struggle with this car is I can't quite get it tuned. So if anybody knows of a good tune out there that I could copy, I'd love to have that. I copied a tune that I should have known better. It wasn't a very good looking tune, but I was kind of in a hurry and I copied it, and I probably shouldn't have. So, and then I've made a lot of adjustments from there, but the car is, for some reason, Forza sets it at pole or usually in second place. So it's obviously a quick tune, but it's not really good for my style, I guess, for some reason. And what's happening is it's really good on medium and high speed corners. I'm really happy with the way it handles there, but on low speed corners, it gets a little bit goofy coming out of the corners, so you get a lot of tire spin. And I think it has to do with the differential, and there's a lot that the tune did, but I've been adjusting the differential back a little bit because I like my cars to get a little bit of oversteer. So essentially I take them from a place that's really, really stable, and then I induce a little bit of oversteer so that I can so that it gets a little bit spirited through the corners. But this one is just a little too unstable coming out of the corner after you've already basically straightened out, and you're in a position where in other cars you'd be able to get on the throttle. It starts getting unstable when you get on the throttle and induces a little bit of oversteer at a point when I don't really want the oversteer to be there. So it's not bad, but I think it could be a lot better. So anyway, that's this car. If people like it, then I might go ahead and put it out there for people to download. But right now it's just a personal livery for me. Now I have a bonus livery here, and a lot of you out there have already discovered this one. This one's more just for fun, and it's one that it's actually my first livery that I've ever shared. And that is my Formula E livery. Now, I think that you can only get it if you have this particular Formula E car, and I sell every Formula E car I have except for this one because I don't like them. And that is my Nobody Likes Formula E livery. And as you can see, I have such disregard for Formula E that I don't even care to try to drive it correctly. Now, Formula E isn't as bad in Forza 7 as it was in Forza 6, and I don't know what made Forza 6 so bad. But to me, it's very, very boring. They're not that fast of cars. They handle okay. And again, they handle a lot better in Forza 7 than in Forza 6. In Forza 6, it was like you'd try to steer, and you'd be on the line, you'd be at the right speed, and then all of a sudden it would just snap oversteer. And if you held the joystick too long one direction, it would just decide that you really, really wanted to go that direction, and so it would oversteer. But essentially on Formula E races, when I have to do them, I take the difficulty level down as far as I can take it, and I make sure that the race is the shortest possible race, and then I just try to get through it. They're not compelling races. They're really boring. It's kind of like the NASCAR stuff. I don't really want to race any Grand Prix or NASCAR stuff in these races. Now, I know that some people do, and at least with Grand Prix, you have really, really fast cars, but for whatever reason, I hate these. And again, they're boring. There's a bunch of identical cars that you've got to collect that I don't want to collect, so I sell them all for $99,000 a piece every time I get a new one. And this is what I think of Formula E. So anyway, if you want an ugly skin for your Formula E car, look this one up, and I think it's funny. And hopefully they'll stop putting Formula E in these races, because I'll race Grand Prix if I have to, but and again, I know that a lot of people like Grand Prix. I'm sure some people like Formula E, but in my opinion, nobody should like Formula E. And with that, thanks again for watching, and drive safe.